Here we go. Something new. I love when I get new recommendations. So this is Fandom Games. Shout out to Fandom Games. If you would like me to take down my video, sir or ma'am, I do not mind. Welcome back, everybody. Sending out a lot of love. I usually say ladies and gents, but it's okay. Subscribe if you want to be a part of the founders. That red button's down below. Other than that, this is Honest Game Trailers recommended to me. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So let's see. Honest, like usually when from what I've come to know by my collection of YouTube knowledge, when there's an honest game trailers or something like honest in the word, it's going to be super sarcastic and my kind of flavor of humor. How about the sneeze? Oh! I'm all good. So, I enjoy Tiny Tina's. There's a lot of wonky stuff within the video, or within the video game. There's weird things, lacking certain things, but for the most part, I enjoyed it for what it was and what the product was. Now, that DLC that came out, I have a video coming out soon where, like, I'm watching this guy's take on everything and giving my take that I did live. So that should be out soon. Don't quote me on that. But let's hop into this and see how funny this is. Hang on. Look. All right. Everybody wanted this. I've never watched Fandom before.
In an era where the looter-shooter genre, practically invented by the Borderlands franchise, has been diluted and evolved by some of the industry's most respected developers, return to the Schluter's roots with another Gearbox title that will make you feel like you're back in the early 2010s.
He said Schluter's roots.
Mostly because it feels like they haven't learned a single thing about making video games since then. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Whoa, is there captions?
Discover a Borderlands side story based off one of the franchise's most popular DLCs that casts aside the usual setting of post-apocalyptic gun desert full of the mentally ill and the extremely unlikable characters and storyline of Borderlands 3.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here and there. If you don't want me to pause, go watch the video. The video will be linked down below as always. But he's so right here. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Oh man. In terms of game design, there could have been like a running, like they could have added a dash or maybe something a little bit new because enemies get up in your face a little too much in Wonderlands or in Borderlands games in general. But you're supposed to be this overpowered badass, so I feel like the point of that is literally to be a bit OP in these games, and that's why something like that exists, but that's never talked about. Like, I think the enemies are supposed to get close up in your face, and like your screen is supposed to be blinded, but you're supposed to literally be this badass, so it's not supposed to matter. But in terms of how it gets harder difficulty and going up in rank, since they're adding chaos levels and stuff like that, there should be like a dash or something to run away or get a little bit back from gunfire. But yeah, I think the characters in Borderlands 3 were good. They just weren't incorporated a lot.
For a generic fantasy role-playing skin that could be generously described as a parody of Dungeons & Dragons, where you'll play a tabletop version of Borderlands that's still in first person with guns, but you have to blow up 4,000 skeletons instead of 4,000 tiny lunatics. And the entire thing is narrated by one of the most irritating characters in the history of video game writing, Tiny Tina.
Time for character sheets, baby!
Whose random rainbow unicorn humor was already more grating than using a slip and slide made of knives an entire decade ago when Borderlands 2 was new. Meaning if you actually purchased this video game in the year of our Lord 2022, you have absolutely no one to blame but yourself. Quest for glory and shiny colored loot in Tiny Tina's campaign of bunkers and badasses. As you take the role of a faceless protagonist doing an irritating fantasy voice.
I act not of desperation, but for heroism!
And sit down at the table alongside a couple of characters in the traditional Borderlands house style, one note and annoying.
We're here to slay evil and get gold.
I know you see me as a role model.
Brought to life by the voices of...
his name is Yggdrasil. I love that. I love this person's name. And you're not technically a faceless protagonist since you create the character, so you have a face. So is this still a faceless protagonist?
Well-known actors who probably need better agents.
Oh, well, that's pretty underwhelming.
To play a Dungeons & Dragons knockoff that felt a lot more novel when D&D wasn't a game largely played by professional voice actors on live streams, and when it wasn't trying to be a whole-ass game on its own. All folded between Tiny Tina trying to inject enough LOL so random humor for an adult to cringe themselves into an early grave.
Yep.
Precarious cliffside platforming! assholes clatters to the ground. Like this. Clatter, 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 clatter. Puzzle, 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 puzzle.
In a narrative that will have you turning off the dialogue audio before you reach the end of the first level. Look, we all know why it's unbearable. It's like looking at ourselves from 10 years ago, and they're at a Hot Topic, with long bangs. I think I hear someone's live journal crying. Choose your character class from the 6 archetypes, then match them together with the others to create unique ability combos that constitute almost the entirety of the conscious thinking that you'll do while you play this video game, as you go from one linear location to the next on the RPG world map that got
one linear location to the next.
them out of doing a bunch of work. And the remainder of the experience boils down to a whole bunch of extremely familiar gameplay. From the manufacturer-based weaponry that only occasionally bothers to not just look like a gun, to the recharging shields that they just call magic now, the opening of 1 million tiny safes with green lights on them, the world full of monster closets, and the last chance mechanic in this game called the Death Save. A name that makes you feel like you can almost hear the writers high-fiving each other in a game that truly...
I like that. A lot of his jokes are corny, but yo, they do make so much sense. It's almost bad to see a reskin, but at the same time, this is kind of something that I didn't hope for, but kind of wish they did just to make up for Borderlands 3. But there are a lot of quality, like if you're gonna reskin a game, there is a lot of quality life changes that should be a part of the main equation when making the game. Like, not going to lie, if it's going to just be similar, maybe like a increased loot pickup for like opening these crates and stuff like that, because that is something that I did not miss, opening a bunch of little fucking containers with green lights on them, bro.
really is just more Borderlands for those that really want that, I guess. Have you ever considered trying something healthier for your brain, like contact sports, or just running it through a cement block? So slam in those earplugs, just in case you somehow accidentally unmute the talking, and get ready to shoot the piñatas until the candy pops out, in a gameplay experience that isn't the worst way to distract yourself from your emotional pain while you listen to a podcast or whatever, but that simultaneously begs the question, what are we even doing here? I mean, we should have better standards than just shooting things with characters named Queen Butt Stallion, right? Right? No? We never did? Okay. Back to the colors pew pew then.
Back to the colors pew pew. Not gonna lie, blowing up the ocean was a funny part. That was a really good part. There should have been more moments like that. Completely stealing that from Angry Joe show or whatever his name is, but that is a genuine thing. I feel like Borderlands was like the huge crazy ass moments that can happen, first of all, in a Borderlands game, and two, in D&D campaigns in general. There should have been even crazier wonky shit.
Story continues!
Which a lot of the side missions were actually like fun.
Gotta be kidding me.
Starring Girl Uninterrupted, Kirkland Brand Matt Mercer,
Nah,
Short
Kirtland Brand Matt Mercer, but he wasn't the DM.
Circuit, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, and Take Me Home Clopping Road, Tiny Tina's Refunderlands. Alright, look, if you really need to listen to like 50 hours of Ashley Burch this year, a much better game has you covered. Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice.
If you actually want to listen to Ashley Burch, 50 hours of Ashley Burch. And he put her Horizon Zero Dawn, oh my gosh. Because she's, what is the name of the character? Eivor? Wait, I don't know if that's right. Sorry guys, I'm not a Horizon Zero Dawn player. Like, never played the first game, just watched it. Who's the main protagonist? But I know it's Ashley Burch. Alloy. Whoops, not Eivor. What the fuck is Eivor from? I don't know. That was okay. That was cute. A lot of it was kind of corny, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed that. What is? I'll let the video play out.
In the comments below. Did you know Bungee Gum has the properties of both rubber and gum?
I hate this comment. Oh, I'm tired of hearing Ahsoka. Oh my gosh. I'm done. I'm out of here. Much love in Moonlight. Shout out to fandom once again. That was a cool review of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I'm out. Peace.